I just don't trust the Metropolitan Police to conduct a proper inquiry. It's 4 years ago since Mulcair went to jail for illegal hacking of telephone and information for the News of the World. Since then, the Met Police have done 2 or 3 inquiries, told me there's no evidence, but the evidence has begun to come out in the courts. They have not done a proper investigation. One of the inquiries lasted less than a day. You can't trust that kind of role. Secondly, News International say they've found new information. Well, it was Colin Myler, who was the new editor of the News of the World, said he conducted a thorough investigation of all the information available in the Murdoch operation and found absolutely no evidence that there'd been anything more than a rogue reporter. Totally untrue. The Press Complaints Commission have done an inquiry and they've all come to the same conclusion as the Crime Prosecution Office has, that this is just one person. Just not true. So I can't trust them to carry out a proper inquiry, and that's why I asked the courts for a judicial review on the Metropolitan Police in the way they've conducted investigations.
So you're not confident at all in the new Specialist Crime Directorate, which will be investigating more phone hacking allegations?
Personally, I don't know enough about it. I just say the Metropolitan Police have not carried out proper investigation. They've told us there's no evidence there, really. Now we know from civil cases where Murdoch Press have actually been settling for millions of pounds in compensation and yet still trying to say it was a rogue operator. The information has come out from press activity like The Guardian, for example, and to a certain extent The Independent. It's not come from the Met Police, and in my case they told me eventually, after I kept pushing them, after they'd said there was no evidence, that they'd discovered 2 pieces of evidence where 2 payments of £250 was paid by Murdoch about information about me. They didn't investigate what that information was. That is the inadequacy and incompetence of the Met Authority. That's why I've gone to a judge to make a judgment about it.
Your opinions are obviously being very strongly expressed. Do you have any security or any assurance now that News International, we've had a meeting today, we understand with James Murdoch, News International has come to the conclusion that News of the World's head of news, Ian Edmondson, has had to be sacked. Is that not reassuring at all that News International is taking some action?
Well, it's somewhat late, isn't it? I mean, this has been going on for 4 years. They've denied consistently that there was any information. They've done a thorough investigation, as I've mentioned to you, Colin Myler, immediately he did that, found no evidence whatsoever. What has changed is the evidence coming out, and that's what affected Coulson, I think, the evidence coming out from the civil actions and the lists that are now becoming made available. That was all denied to us by the Met. It was available to them, but they weren't prepared to release that information. Now, the fact that something's happening at News International, I think, reflects what's happening now in this situation, plus the arrival of Mr. Murdoch in the scene. And let's face it, that's connected to Channel 5 and everything else. This is a big game involved here. They've denied it consistently. You just cannot trust them.